So this is a combination of messages given on various dates. So I've made it as smooth as transition as I can, but I connected Diana a week ago, and then I connected again today for a further update. And so she's going to give us an energetic rose boost with the healing, and so is Mother Mary. And so I'm calling upon the angels to open the session for us and light our way as we go through this time of winter and darkness and entering into the solstice energies of the Christmas time. And also asking of each one of us to be protected from viruses and illnesses, and also any fearful experiences in the outer world, which are more prevalent these days. So I'm calling upon now Princess Diana. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Diana, and I'm speaking through Marcia. She has been my scribe for 25 years, and I'm extremely proud of her book, With Love from Diana, Queen of Hearts, and her earlier one, Princess Diana's Message of Peace. Today, the Circle of the Rose Healing, I intend for my rose and Mother Mary's rose to be supportive and shared. And we are ever grateful for your support and understanding of my scribe, Marcia, and her work. I'd like to say that if you're unfamiliar with her work, her books are still available and are collector's items. And of myself, many paintings and her favorite poses, and very original. So for today, I'd like to give my thoughts on world affairs, as well as an energetic boost for all of you feeling seasonal energies of fall and the darkness that seems to sometimes surround, especially in America at this time, particularly, and in the world as a whole. I offer my healing with Mother Mary at the end of the session. So just tune into that rose healing and take deep breaths and just relax and enjoy the channeling. And whatever feels right for you is meant for you. If it doesn't feel right, you don't have to accept it as truth. It's just channeling. But Diana is really pretty accurate, and I will say this. Whilst we can't address every issue, I will be speaking today on the most pressing issue of the time in the media, which is the Epstein files. I would like to ask also that whoever is listening today to open their heart to the wisdom I'm about to share regarding the necessity for one to share the resources and wealth with others. Those of you listening probably know this. There are others on YouTube that will remember very well my charity work. And so I ask you firstly to think of others at this holiday time, most especially in America, where food has been cut and so many are needing food and support. We thank Marcia again for donating the proceeds of this particular session to those with hunger and need. As a young princess, when I found out about the coffers of the royal family, I then wanted to open them up and share them with the world. I was scolded and laughed at for thinking that the enormous amount of wealth could be shared. And now we see the same thing happening everywhere, but in a much more exposed way, where billionaires are not paying a single dollar in tax, getting all the loopholes, the gratuities, and they are receiving, especially that Mr. Musk, but also including the royal family, which has some of the finest holdings. All of these institutions need to see fit to take care of their people. And we do see, unfortunately, my concerns about the war in the Ukraine worsening over the winter. And this is really tragic that there have been no further defensive weapons offered to Ukraine. And that is directly tied into the Epstein drama. For, as we know, for many years, President Trump has ties to Russia, and they involve money laundering and Epstein. And this is all to surely come out. We ask that you not focus so much on the corruption at the top, but what you can do as a person to help those in your community and to find peace within at this time. and to help others and finding food, shelter, and cooperative ventures that are supportive. As well, we'd like to see Marcia offer some divine feminine retreats over the winter or possibly in the early spring that would bring joy to each one of you. Focus on what you can do as an individual to give people, and giving from the heart. Being there in person perhaps might be more personal for you than just writing a check. So she's promoting volunteering. And you remember all the pictures of her when she volunteered to feed the hungry, Mother Teresa's Home of the Dying, just to name a few. And in all of this, it would do your hearts much good to be there in person. So I send on my rose of healing, and I can feel this healing rose now, if you're getting that download as I am. So from my heart to yours, just know that I'm an ascended master in the higher realms, and I come to you. You may call upon me for healing advice, personal guidance, and the like to continue my discourse. And thank you for having listened to me today. And I am ever England's Rose. So, and then she does go on with more information that I channeled the previous week. And then I asked her about the flights, and I was considering a trip and planned to go to Florida, but she said that she did see mass confusion in the airports. And she felt that at that time he didn't want to open the government because he's afraid of the Epstein files, which do contain sensitive information about him, though most of it has been struck from the files. There are those that work for the government and they care about the law, and they have preserved them so they will still be available in the entirety of the collection of the Epstein files is part of the estate of that evildoer. And so I knew about Prince Andrew all along. It is a shame. I knew about such things and highly disapproved. And this is one of the reasons why I was never accepted or welcomed into some of the royal circles, because I refused to participate in such things. Of course, a lot of the royal family did participate, particularly the males, but I shall not be naming any names. Of course, my son William would not permit that sort of thing to go on in his reign, so it had to be dealt with. And so we say bravo to William and to King Charles. Can you say anything about the recent case of reincarnation, where there's a child in Australia that remembered frank details of your life, and where you put your personal items and maybe even a little bit of the crash, etc.? If there are so aspects of myself possibly on the earth plane, I am not in touch with them. But when a soul fragment reincarnates, okay, let me get to this part. We have someone coming in. So if that person, welcome, and please mute. So we're talking about a question I had for Princess Diana. So recent reincarnation, child in Australia. And she says, when I was on the earth plane, I was not in touch with them. When a soul fragment chooses to reincarnate, sometimes the contact is all but lost, but we do not confirm nor deny the existence of the child in Australia that remembers to be myself. This could have been a soul fragment memory, and there could have been a cache of memories. I do not recall having a desire to reincarnate at this time. I am an ascended master, which means I have no need to reincarnate. However, there is always the possibility that I have an aspect of me that has chosen to split from the soul and create a living memory. So it is that I can say upon this matter, I am still here, eternally Rose of England, and I bid you divine blessings at this time. If you will connect to my rose of love, I'm here to heal the world in a big way from war and evil, and it's a frustrating job, but I know many of the deals and details that are being looked at right now for the Middle East and Russia. And as I've confirmed before, that Mother Mary has given information that when the Russian leader dies, all will be well with the Ukraine and the wars will cease. For there will be a new emerging leader in Russia, and we feel that they will take up the cause for peace. Have you anything else to add about what we should pray for today or internal peace in your community? And commend those light workers that are getting food to the hungry at this time in America. And it is a disgrace that they have taken away healthcare and food, and that has been resolved, thankfully. So there's really no excuse, but it is very unpopular. It is true. But there will be supporters in the midterms if they don't manage to control elections through fraud. So we would all ask you to simply pray and do something for others in service who are hurting at this time. Got to get to the right page here. In support of poverty, we say this bravo to you, all the light workers who volunteer in soup kitchens, food banks, and perhaps she's mentioning someone that in my circles that needs to volunteer in a food bank this holiday. As I did many times, volunteer. Hunger is a real sad thing to see. It is all over Africa and all over. People are still approaching the winter as they have no place to go and no food. It will be a long time before a righteous order will be restored, to mention the Palestinian state, which has been put off indefinitely for now. I wish to send my rose onto your heart. So again, we connect 3 times with her heart and rose energy. It just, we will conclude with the heart, our rose heart meditation. I am your personal guide and healer, and I send out all my healing love on this call today. This is Princess Diana. So if you're feeling that download of heart love from her, that is her. She has her own signature and vibration, which is very silken and very elegant. So just breathe that in. And if you know Reiki, you can send out a little Reiki, and then we'll have a private Reiki at the end where requests will be taken and any personal queries or prayer requests or readings can be done. So let me see what I have here now. I've just focus on the rose for now while I shift through my many papers here. Pardon me. Okay. So breathe that rose energy in, and Mother Mary comes in strongly today, increased for the energy of the full moon and the season of November. In the season of the approaching holiday, there is much darkness in the world, and we ask you to increase your devotion to the divine feminine. And we, the ascended masters who can do so much to help the world. We are praying for a peaceful solution in Gaza and Israeli situation, and hope that these crimes against humanity will be prosecuted at the same time. We're asking continued prayers for Mr. Zelensky and the Russian aggressor that I had previously spoken of. When he eventually passes, there will be a forthcoming peace agreement and new leader emerging. So that is very hopeful. So we hold to that hope in our hearts for Ukraine needs our prayers and our support. So just take heart, your prayers have been heard. It's very important to keep democracy and freedom in Ukraine, for it will affect Northern Europe and Eastern Europe, particularly this winter, if they aren't seen to be. And we hope that his demise will come sooner than later, for certainly he is one devil that needs to stop the aggression. So let's send out all our prayers to the Ukraine and to Russia as well, and feel that energy. Right now, Mother Mary spreading her a grace upon Russia and Ukraine and the entire Eastern Bloc. So then she moves on to other topics. We pray for parents and all Americans, especially in this group, whether one party or another. We want all to encourage each other over the winter and encourage a devotion to the divine feminine and the healing of women, in particular, as they are becoming more endangered. With particular concern, this administration is planning to take away rights. There are plans in the works to take away a woman's right to vote and, of course, freedom of medical ways as well. We would say these attempts will be met with some disdain and some welcome, and both ends of the political spectrum. But we say, as Marys, both Marys are speaking here, Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene, that's women's rights and women's voices have been long established as equal, but not terms of political leadership. And so we promote the power of women. Please be of political influence if that is your calling in the political realm. So we applaud the efforts of both Republicans and Democrats to open the Epstein files, which indeed is Trump's nightmare. And because he is deeply involved and he has scrubbed many of the files, yes, but he will be unveiled and it will be very tragic for those that look up to him. However, it is his karma that has to be exposed as the criminal that he is. If this language offends you, do not let it, for I am speaking truth, and I am not political so much as I am a spiritual truth speaker for truth light, along with my son Joshua. So we ask you to continue to pray and remain in unity for women's rights and peace for the world. Is there anything, Mary Magdalene, that you'd wish to say at this time? And then we're going to connect to Mother Mary's Rose Healing. You've got a beautiful aura there going, Christine. It's amazing. Okay. She has something.
They came to say hello.
They did. They're around you for sure. So, as one last thing, I would ask, Mother Mary says, if you are Catholic, that you say a rosary for world peace and continue to pray for Ukraine and Russia, that they would soon be free of that malignant leader. I am ever your mother, Mary Magdalene. Now, ever your mother, Mary, sign off, and then Mary Magdalene comes in. I just want to say that I'm guiding many of you in this group, and there are soul aspects of myself in your group. If you will only open to regression to see what you can connect to in my essence. For some of you did walk among the female disciples many years ago. So I know some of you already have walked among them, and it's been my honor to walk with you once again. I am connecting to my essence, for some of you did walk long ago. I am working with you more on a personal, private level, and this is for those of you that are not yet aware of what I stood for or what I am, but I am the divine feminine rose, and I would give you peace throughout the holiday and strength to endure whatever your daily struggles are. Thank you for listening to me. I am very magical, and I wish to offer a class in the new year if Marcia will find time to do that. So one wants to offer a class, and perhaps you'd like to join her Reiki circle once a week and a month, on Friday evening for enjoyment and fellowship. But we are, closing this out with the rose energy, and then we'll ask you to stay online if you would like to have further healing or energy sent and or prayer request or mini reading, whatever you're thinking. So just take a deep breath and call on Mother Mary's heart of rose, Diana's heart of rose, and Mary Magdalene's rose. And I see 3 different roses, but there's just one heart. It's Jesus' heart behind all of them. So there's a lot of love pouring forth. They're saying from my heart, and just receive it. And Christine is all lit up with orbs everywhere. If you haven't had a chance to see her, she's glowing. That's lovely. I'm enjoying that. The light is perfect today. So just receive that rose energy. And I'm going to thank all my YouTube listeners for joining us today. And please consider subscribing. And then I will uh, turn off the recording. So thank you again.